Welcome back to BondSTX. This is week 31, July 31st to August 4th. This is Lance, the bargain stock bounty hunter, back at you again with another great plays of the week. This is where X marks the spot to get you on the top. This is my scanner that I scan weekly. And so it's kind of like an X marks the spot for me. If you're looking at a treasure map, and then we go to the charts to find out, is that treasure really there? And so when we look at the spreadsheet I developed, looking at trend, looking at true value, and I'm looking at how much gap is between the true value and current price, and a lot of other data that I've got going on in the background. So as I like to start, let's look at the New York Stock Exchange and the Nasdaq. So let's look at the Nasdaq starting out coming into this week. And so one thing I like to point out is since really the beginning of the year, the Nasdaq has slowly been losing momentum, right? And so we see the prices since the beginning of the year slowly going up. And so that's a bit of a bearish divergence. And so I would expect the market to pull back down. Of course, I have my cake range, which I use as a reference of where the price wants to be. Also have this long progressive trend line that goes back 5 to 10 years, so to speak. And so we see how much the market is overextended. And so we saw last week, I projected that the market would be down in this range, kind of fought back a little bit and pulled up higher. But we do see that the market's starting to slowly pull back down. And so I expect that trend to continue on the NASDAQ. So I'm expecting by Friday, somewhere around the 13,961 to potentially the 14,155 range. Again, we see the momentum starting to pull down. The MACD starting to still push up a little bit, but again, those are in disagreement. So that's a little bit of a concern there. So I would say the Nasdaq, some potential for it to still pull back. Still a great opportunity to get into some stocks that we'll share here in a little bit. Looking at the New York Stock Exchange, saw that pull back down some last week, came right into range where I expected to be. It did hit a high last week on Thursday of 16,458.89. So that's a interesting mark there, and we see how strong and bullish the New York Stock Exchange has been. Also, again, it is still a little bit overextended if we look at the 1 year, 1 day. So there is still a lot of overextension and some potential for this one to pull back as well. So I expect for this one to pull back some more this week and be around the 16,291.74 to around the 16,092.97. So those are my predictions for the market this week. So with that being said, let's get into the plays of the week. And so we see, again, as I mentioned, the New York Stock Exchange moving very strong coming into the week. I'm going to go down to SentinelOne this week at a 0 to 5 day hold. Four trend is a really good trend upward. And it's 42 cents overpriced at a true value of $15.06. So let's look at SentinelOne. And let's see what opportunity presents itself to us this week. I've called out SentinelOne quite a bit in the past. So I'll kind of go 1 year, 1 day real quick and what I see in SentinelOne. And so SentinelOne's had a high of, I'm just getting out a little bit more. It's had a high of $30 back in September 1st. I've called it out around the 24.81. So I pulled down the price point and pull way down then. Then we've seen it come down to around the $15 range, 1307, 1307, 2 weeks in a row. I called it out. DAS called it out at 13 and 1352. We didn't see it come down to that price point, but we did see it hit true value, which is the red lines here, a couple times 2 weeks in a row. And then we've seen it pull up some more that week or in the weeks following. We did see a recent low of $12.43. And that was about on June 6th, right after earnings report. And so a little bit of an opportunity here. Again, I'm going short term with a quick day trade, swing trade this week on this one. I really like it at 14.41 this week. Definitely opportunity here if the market pulls back down slightly. Looking to get out around the 1520 to 1606 range. Again, just really coming back and hitting that 180-day, touching off on that 180-day SMA. It could hit that and reject that probably tomorrow or Tuesday. Looking to capitalize around this range and looking for a pullback into another attack on that 180-day SMA that's been trying to get back to over the last month or so. So that's my call out for SentinelOne this week. Next on the list is Target. Target comes in at a trend over 4, 72 cents over price at a true value of 134.28. I really like this one for a long-term play. Target's been hammered quite a bit here lately. And so let's look at Target and see what the charts tell us. I really like this one this week. Probably one of my favorites coming into the week. So let's look at Target. I don't believe I ever called out Target. I've been scanning and watching this one for a while, waiting for a great price point. And so we see 183.89 is a high within the last year on August 16th last year. And we can see how it just moves really nicely in and out of this cake range. Very predictable, easy to trade pricing here. Target gives off dividends, $1.08. Looks like here recent they got $1.10 coming up on August 15th. So really good company to hang in there long term with. And so I see great opportunity. I see it got beaten up quite a bit around this last earnings report. It looks like they came in actually a little higher than they estimated. But you see how the market responded to that, right? They deep pullbacks here, really resisted on that 180-day SMA. So now this is a great opportunity to capitalize when we see what I call manipulation, right? So we see this manipulation, a lot of shares being traded, 10 million, 20 million, 13 million shares, all in the course of 3 days. So we see some uncovered manipulation going all the way back to May 26th, May 25th, and May 24th, all in that same week. And so the market's been pretty flat for this one, hit a low of 125.08. And since then, we see a nice kind of little steady flat pullback. Steady flat trading here. A little bit of a tick up. You can see week over week, a little bit of higher pricing coming in, which is a great sign. And so what I say 130.58 this week is a great opportunity. We really see this one really trying to go full bullish. It's really close to getting there. I believe this one will take off probably before earnings on August 15th, as I mentioned a few seconds ago. So I think by Friday, you can get out by 134.63 to 140.04 potentially, but definitely think you can hang on to this one for quite a while and definitely let us come back to this 180-day SMA range up into this cake range. Definitely want to cover these manipulation points at 140.77, 142.32, and 145.74. So it's a nice, decent percentage increase, looking at 7 to 8 to about 11% within the probably next couple months, if not sooner. So that's my call out for Target this week, 130.58. Next on the list, kind of go down just a little bit more. Great opportunities coming up here in a company called Mesa Labs. Comes in at a flat trend, 81 cents over price at a true value of 127.24. And never have called out Mesa Labs before. So let's look into this company just a little bit before we go into the charts. So Mesa Labs is a multinational manufacturer, developer, and seller of life sciences tools and critical quality control solutions. Biopharmaceutical. Looks like they have sterilization and disinfection processes. Also develop and manufacture and sell automated systems for protein analysis, peptide synthesis solutions. Overall, just a biotech company based out of Lakewood. So anyway, I can't tell exactly where it's from, just says Lakewood here. Anyway, so anyways, got a good variety of things they're involved with in biotech. So let's look at the 1 year, 1 day. Again, haven't called this one out before. It's like a really nice company to trade here. So we look at 216.41, hit a high on August 2nd. We see a low of 114.21 on October 21st. They see a nice pull up from there, really attacking that 180-day SMA, moving in and out of that cake range real nicely. And this is where the price wants to be, in between the two purple lines. And we see the attacks on the 180-day SMA, which is pretty much like a trend line, what I like to use this for. And we see slowly this one has been coming down on the trend line, but we see a great opportunity here. This one also has dividends, 16 cents every quarter. And so it hasn't hit a low of 114.21 in a while, right? That's going all the way back to October of last year. So I'm thinking a great opportunity as I see some minor manipulation in here. 121.54. I like how it's really coming up to attack this 13-day on the Williams alligator. And we see this one not fully cross over, but we see this one attack it, kind of trying to stay right with it. I feel like this one can come back down to 121.54, and by Friday get out around 127.98 to around 132.97. So that's my call out for Mesa Labs this week, is 121.54. I like what I'm seeing in the MACD. Momentum's also above the purple line here. A little bit of a pullback, but I definitely like where I'm going with this one this week. And this one does have an earnings report to note this Thursday. So I would say definitely wait on this one to get down to 121.54 or below is what I'm going to do. And that might come on this day if they have a bad earnings report, and it could pull below that for sure. I would definitely want to get in at 121.54, even with a small position, a couple shares here and there. That's my call out for Mesa Labs this week. Next on the list is a very, very controversial, debatable, but I think there's a nice swing trade, day trade opportunity here. Flat trend, 48 cents on sale at a true value of $5.12. AMC has been a very, very controversial stock over the last year or so, not more. Very, very manipulated, very, very tough to find good price points. Not one you'd want to hold on to, not one I would trust for long term. So let's real quick, had a high of $27.50 on August 12th of last year. Let me just see how much this one has lost. So you look at from here to the low of 30.77 that it hit on January 6th, you're looking at a 212%, I'm sorry, 85% loss there. And so that's pretty tough when you're looking at, make sure the number is right. Yeah, 85% loss. It's pretty tough to hold on to a company that's constantly losing like that. Again, if you're into companies that would be considered a penny stock, this one may be a good one to try to look into. I'm not real fond of penny stocks, but this is an opportunity again as we look in the market to find opportunities to make money. I feel like this is a pretty decent one here. Called it out, didn't make a video on it, but I had it on my list back in May 9th on May 9th, and looked at the price of $4.91, I'm sorry to be exact. Did not come quite down to that price that week. We can see how it moved in the following week and following weeks after that. Had a really interesting manipulation day 2 Fridays ago, and we see 256 million shares. Say that again, 256 million shares traded on July 24th. That's a lot of shares. And we see the price range went from 624 all the way down to 490. And I mean, just a lot of transactions happening on one day. So we see a lot of manipulation happen that day, and we see what happens. Comes back down, covers some of the manipulation here. So I'm thinking a great opportunity coming at 407. It does have an earnings report next week on August 8th. But 407 is a really good price point. Really can't go wrong there. Probably can get out, small potential at 428 this week, 454. looking at about 12% max potential this week. But I really like this one to play off the manipulation. There is a strong pullback on the momentum as we see. MACD still looks pretty decent, but definitely want to capitalize on this one. This one technically, by standards of the chart indicators, is bullish, but I don't think it'll hang out very long in the bullish territory. If it falls down Monday, I think it'll just come down and maybe touch off here on the 13-day EMA on the advanced Williams alligator, or just really pull through. And 407, definitely with a small position, potentially. Could go pretty heavy if you want to do definitely a day trade and capitalize pretty quickly on that one. So that's my call out for AMC is 407. And then next on the list is Walgreens, coming in a flat trend, 35 cents on sale at a true value of $30.15. Let's look at Walgreens, another company that's been really tested and battled over the last probably 6-7 months. So let's look at Walgreens. Never called this one out. Got it on a 1 year, 1 day. And so Walgreens hit a high of $42.29 on December 13th. We see how it's really nicely moving in and out of this cake range very perfectly. Easy to trade. But we do see a nice regression line here. And so seeing how it's kind of pinging off these regression bars, I think a great opportunity at a low of 28.14 on, what date is that? On June 27th. I think there's a great opportunity to get somewhere around that range. 28.04, I really feel comfortable with. I see this one pulling back possibly this week with the Nasdaq, as we mentioned earlier. This one trades on the Nasdaq, so if the Nasdaq can pull down, if you can capture it 28.04, man, that is a heck of a steal. A great company to get into. This one still pays dividends at 48 cents, which their dividend payment is coming up on August 18th. So definitely think 28.04 is a great opportunity to get into this one, and potentially by Friday, 28.59 to 29.56 to get out. So not a huge percentage opportunity, 1.87 to 5%, but definitely a good company to get into at this point. This one is definitely trending slightly upward. So if we look at the momentum, see how it's pulling here, slightly pulling up. We see this one in a pretty nice bullish divergence. So we see the price coming down, momentum pulling up, MACD pulling up. This is a nice bullish divergence opportunity to converge and come back and track the opposite way going upwards. So that's what we're looking for here. And that's my call out for Walgreens this week is 28.04. So that's it for plays of the week. Short video this week. Didn't have a lot of call outs that I wanted to make this week. So thank you for joining me. Have a good week trading. Good luck to everyone. And look out for some more videos coming soon. Thank you.